Hello everyone and welcome back to Broken Sword 2, The Smoking Mirror. Excuse me.
We can't use the elevator. If that thug Pablo's recovered, he'll be waiting for us.
We've got to do something. Where does that door lead to?
I'm not sure. It would be much easier to attach the rope to the statue first.
Oh, yeah. Give it to me to get ahead of myself. Got my cat Alex with me.
There wasn't much I could do with a pulley that didn't have any rope.
Oh, jeez. Hey, Alex. Good kitty.
The rope wasn't long enough to reach the pulley.
Oh, for goodness sake.
There wasn't enough room to move the handle.
God's sake.
No chance. Whatever those crates contained, they were heavy.
Okay, what am I forgetting? Last hint!
A sturdy beam was jammed across the doors. These doors were not going to open.
Okay.
Hopefully, the tape would prevent those doors from closing and stop the Indian from being able to call the elevator. Rose about 6 inches off the floor. I said a silent prayer to whoever had discovered the power of hydraulics.
What on earth are you doing?
Trying to raise the statue so I can hook it to that pulley.
Is that really going to help us?
I like to keep myself occupied in times of stress. The statue looked way too heavy for me to move.
Okay. Now for the pulley.
I didn't want to remove the rope from the pulley.
Oh my god. What am I forgetting? Yeah, let's chat
Okay.
first.
Tell me what you know about Condor.
Condor Transglobal exports Aztec and Mayan relics from Central America to Europe. But that's just a cover for the real business. Drug smuggling.
What proof do you have?
Nothing yet.
Do you know where Condor is based?
In Central America. A place called Quaramonte.
Quaramonte. That's what that little guy kept saying. I thought it was his name.
No, that That's Titipoco.
Titty what?
Titipoco. That's what Pablo calls him.
Tell me about this Karzak guy.
Well, I saw him for only a few minutes, but he frightens me. I got the impression that Pablo was nervous when he was around too. His eyes, they're like a wild animal's, like a tiger. That's what scared me most about him. He looked so unpredictable and dangerous.
Did you know Ubier's wife was a film star?
No, I didn't know he was married. What happened to her?
She died. In mysterious circumstances, apparently.
How mysterious.
I heard she was murdered. Possibly by Ubier himself.
A murderer, huh? André said he was something of a celebrity.
Did I hear you refer to Inspector Moon?
Yes, you remember him?
Let's just say
Of
yes.
course I do. But I thought he was dead.
Oh no, he reappeared after the broken sword case had blown over. When he found out who was in with the Neo-Templars, he went into hiding. Moon knew more than was good for him.
Does he know about our involvement with the case?
If he does, he's not telling. Still, he got a sudden promotion.
Did that Indian guy mistreat you?
If you forget about the abduction, verbal threats, and bondage, no.
Well, what about the little guy?
I don't think he knows where he is or what he's doing here. The big guy, Pablo, he brought Titipoco from the jungle.
Do you recognize this?
Is that the dart which knocked me out?
That's right. I kept it as a souvenir. Have you any idea who this little statue is supposed to be?
I'm not very well acquainted with Mayan deities, George. But whatever his name, he sure is ugly.
I found these in your bag.
Oh, they were a gift.
I know. I read the note.
God knows what was going through Andre's mind.
I think that's quite plain enough. Look, the little guy downstairs was chained up with these.
That must have been Pablo's doing. I don't blame him, though. That little guy is dangerous.
You're still sore about that poison dart?
Of course I'm sore.
Okay,
There was nothing else I wanted to talk to Nico about at that time.
what? What?
The statue looked as if it was Central or South American in origin. It was too heavy for me to move on my own.
Yeah, of course I forgot something.
Could you give me a hand to push the statue?
What for?
This, my dear, is our passport to freedom.
If you say so, dear.
Okay, push! Great teamwork.
Nice to be working with you again, Mr. Stobart.
Nico, I have a great idea.
It was great in theory.
George, where have you been? Never mind that. Do you have the Mayan stone?
Maybe I have, but,
Don't argue, André. Give the stone to George.
well, of course. If you say so, Nico.
Thank you so much, Andre.
Georgie told me you'd been kidnapped, my dear. I'm glad to see he was mistaken.
Oh, but it was true. If it hadn't been for George, I wouldn't be here now.
It's not finished yet. Karzak's thugs will be back for that stone, you can bet. The best lead that we have is Coromonte City.
Coromonte is in Central America. That's where Ubier gets his artifacts.
That's all we needed to know. Come on, George.
Claramonte, the traveler's rear entrance to Central America. Well, that's how it's translated in the brochure. We didn't know what we were looking for, but the offices of Condor Transglobal seemed a good place to start.
Hey, it's market day. I don't see any cabs. Let's ask someone how to get to Quaramonte City.
Okay. Keep your eyes peeled for any sign of Condor Transglobal.
Let's start with the band.
Hey, cheer up, guys. What's with the long faces?
Our pipe player has been arrested and thrown in jail.
Poor Miguel. He never broke the law in his life.
Why was Miguel put in jail?
For playing folk music.
What?
It's true, senor. He insisted on playing traditional Quaramonte music, even though it's illegal.
Why don't you try playing a tune to cheer yourselves up?
No, we should be looking for real jobs.
We could earn 10 times as much down the mines. My cousin Ramirez was earning 8 pesos an hour.
Before he lost his legs in the accident.
Tell me about the accident at the mine.
There was an explosion at Teoculcan. 30 miners were buried alive.
They got some of them out, though.
2 of them, including your cousin, and they left half of him behind.
Doesn't sound good.
Would either of you guys care for a biscuit?
A dog biscuit, senor?
Are you trying to insult us?
No, really. They're good.
We'll take your word for it.
Have you any idea what this is?
No, senor.
Me neither.
Have you seen anything like...
I, the hungry chief.
Why are you carrying the thing around with you, senor? Don't you know who it is?
No. Dude, tell me.
He's Tezcatli, god of death and blood.
Well, that's not good.
What do you make of this little worm?
No good. It's dead.
Sure it's dead. You think I'd carry it around in my pocket if it wasn't? Take a look at the design on this label.
I have seen that before.
Where?
There was a ship flying a flag just like that.
When did you see this ship?
3 months ago. It was here, at the docks.
What was the ship with the condor flag carrying?
I don't know, senor. We weren't allowed near the docks.
That's right. Usually we meet the ships when they tie up.
We play to the tourists.
Well, when the Condor ship came in, we were told to go away.
Do you guys know anything about a total eclipse?
What is it?
It's like when the sun is hidden by the moon.
It's crazy.
My cousin Alfredo swears he saw it happen once. But that was after he stupidly consumed a cocktail of peyote and antibiotics.
That does sound stupid.
George Stillbird,
Mrs. Henderson. Boy, this is some coincidence, huh?
When you've been married to a fruitcake like Dwayne as long as I have, you stop believing in coincidence.
I'd met Pearl and Dwayne on the other side of the globe in Syria. He was an Army veteran who suspected he was working for the CIA, but wasn't sure. She was less obviously deranged. Is Dwayne here with you, Mrs. Henderson?
Why, sure, I couldn't leave him home alone. Since Dwayne came back from the war, we couldn't bear to be apart.
So, where is he now?
We ain't speaking.
Why aren't you speaking to Dwayne?
Because he's an old spoiled sport sourpuss. I want to visit one of those old pyramid places, but Dwayne says he has to stay in town.
Right. And you don't want to go on your own?
There's no pyramid if there's no one around to take my picture.
Is Dwayne still working for the CIA?
If he is, he doesn't know it. He's what they call a snoozer.
Don't you mean a sleeper?
No, this is different. He used to think he worked for them, but the psychotherapy cured him of that. What he doesn't realize is that now he really does work for them. At least that's the way I understand it.
I see.
Brings you to Quaramonte, Pearl.
What takes me just about anywhere is the market.
You drove 2,000 miles to go shopping?
Shopping is my role in the economy of the great design.
What do you make of this stone, Pearl?
Oh, that's pretty. What's that thing supposed to be, a rabbit?
I believe it's a coyote.
Well, it sure is cute.
I was surprised she didn't ask me where she could buy one. What does this mean to you, Pearl?
What cute little feathers. Why, if you had two of those, they'd sure make nice earrings.
This isn't intended for frivolous personal adornment, Pearl. It's a dart, tipped with a fast-acting, muscle-numbing poison.
Pardon me, I stand corrected, honey.
Sometimes I get the feeling that communication with Pearl was like sending signals out into space. Maybe, if you waited long enough, you'd get an intelligent answer back. But it was a long shot.
Yeah, I knew some people like that back in the 60s.
What do you make of this statue, Pearl?
Ooh-wee, that's a spitting image of Dwayne's brother Sheridan. A little less body hair, maybe, but it's him all right.
Look at this, Pearl. A tequila worm.
Don't you bring that thing anywhere near me, honey. I swear I'll scream like a hog on a hog plate.
Take a look at this news cutting, Pearl.
You'll have to read it to me, George. I left my specs in a gay bar in Santa Barbara.
Well, it's about an eclipse of the sun, which is due to occur in a few weeks' time.
You'd think the government would warn us about these kind of things.
It's not dangerous or anything. Apparently, the best place to view the eclipse is right here in Quaramonte.
Oh, my.
She didn't appear to be the slightest bit interested. Catch you later, Pearl.
Okay, we'll talk to Drain, then we'll look at La Hens and see if I've forgotten anything.
It was Pearl's husband, Dwayne. Hey, Mr. Anderson. Good to see you again.
Do I know you, son?
George Stobart, remember? In Syria? I sold you a statue.
I remember that. Pearl was mighty vexed when the paint came off.
Look, I'm sorry. I'll give you back the $50.
No, you suckered me fair and square.
Are you still working for... you know who?
You know I can't talk about my work, George. That's between me and Uncle Sam.
Does the name Karzak mean anything to you?
Sounds like a comic book villain to me, son.
Yes,
He's the man
kind of
behind
does.
Condor and the rat who kidnapped Nico.
You know, the first time I met you, I was deeply impressed with your naive simplicity. I said to Pearl, if we ever had kids, I would have wanted a boy like George. But I underestimated you, son.
Did you know that traditional music is illegal in Quaramonte?
Is that so? Seems reasonable to me.
No, really. The leader of the band in the square has been imprisoned just because of the music he played.
I don't know who you've been talking to, but that fella, Miguel, he's an agitator.
What's the real reason the musician was in prison?
Handed out subversive literature at the mines. That so-called general was waiting for Miguel when he got back into town. Marched him off to jail at gunpoint on a charge of inciting a riot.
I spoke to Pearl earlier.
Yeah? Did she mention that we had a kind of falling out?
Yes, she did.
She'll get over it.
Did you drive all the way down here?
Hell no. Pearl did the driving while I followed the maps. The way she handled the wheel, you'd think she'd been trucking half her life.
Why did you bring a huge truck like that?
George, I'm on a top-secret classified mission for Uncle Sam. This truck is a rolling bomb. 400 pounds of nitrate fertilizer with a plastique initiator. They'll hear the bang in China. Gee, I'm really looking forward to this.
And you told us that?
Would you like a biscuit, Dwayne?
Oh no, those gourmet dog snacks bring me out in a rash.
You've tried them?
They were on special offer. Pearl bought a whole crate. When I asked her if she was thinking of keeping a dog too, she just laughed.
Do you know anything about a shipping company called Condor Transglobal?
Sure I do. You have to get up pretty early to catch Dwayne with his pants down.
What? You beat me to it?
Condor Transglobal is all wound up. Seems like my investigations scared them off.
What do you think of these panties, Dwayne?
Lord, hot stuff, George. You buy those for your girl?
No. A guy we knew in Paris bought them for her.
Oh, you're a threesome then. Why are you looking at me like that, George?
Forget it.
Well, I've done that. Okay.
There was a forlorn-looking guy asleep on the floor of the jail. It was Miguel, the pipe player. Hey, Miguel! He didn't hear me.
Okay, let's head on inside.
Hey, Nico!
Da, 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 da.
I have done just as I have been instructed, Professor. With the mine closed down, there'll be no one around to observe your excavations. Ah, I have visitors.
Just remember what I told you, General. There's really no need to make a martyr out of that man.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting, Senor. Welcome to Clermonte.
Thanks. My name's George Stobart from California.
But what is this? An angel come down to earth.
Nicole Collard. Enchanté, mon général.
Pardon me, senorita, but I couldn't help myself.
Look, we'd like to ask you a few questions.
You've come to the right place, senor. Tourist information. General Graciento, at your service.
This is the tourist office? It says police on the sign outside.
It is both, senor. I am a man of many parts.
I can see that, General.
Have you heard of a guy called Karzak?
No, I never heard of him.
I hear there was an accident at the mine a few months ago.
That's correct.
A lot of men killed, weren't there?
A few.
30?
Barely 1% of the working population.
Is it true there's a restriction on music in Claramonte?
Yes, there is. An emergency measure introduced by Nuestra Senora.
Folk music is a link with the past for some of these people. Take away their musical roots and what do they got left?
Easy listening.
You think easy listening could replace a musical heritage hundreds of years old?
Why not? It happened in your country.
Are there any ruins around the city?
Of course, senor. Claramonte has everything.
I have a friend who wants to visit an historical site.
Ronaldo will only be too pleased to conduct a guided tour when he's dealt with today's paperwork, of course.
Who was the guy you were talking to when we arrived?
Professor Oubier, a visitor, senor, like yourselves.
Did you say Oubier?
You did.
Professor Oubier, a French archaeologist.
What's Oubier doing in Claramonte?
Researching our rich and glorious past, senor. The professor is planning an expedition to some Mayan ruins. He came to see me to get an excavation permit.
Would you like a biscuit?
Are you trying to bribe me?
Well, every man has his price.
Mine is more than a dog cookie, Senor Stobart.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
That's a native carving, isn't it? Where did you get it?
We picked it up in the market as a souvenir.
What do you think of these panties, General?
Oh boy, fabuloso.
They're yours if you'll tell me all you know about Karzak.
I told you, I never heard of the guy. Do I get the panties now? I told you all I know.
You told nothing.
Take a look at this label.
Si, senor. Condor Transglobal.
Can you tell me where to find their offices?
No, senor. I never heard of them, and neither did Ronaldo.
Are you sure you never heard of Condor?
Oh, yes.
The company is registered here in Quaramonte City.
You are mistaken, senorita.
The musicians out in the square say the ship flying the Condor flag was
Just one
roasted.
moment, please.
They are simple peasants. They will go along with anything you say in the hopes of parting you from your money.
And we're back. My roommate was back for a bit. Anyway, let's carry on.
Condor is run by Karzak, isn't it?
Wrong again, senor. Karzak has nothing to do with anything called Condor, whoever he is.
Do you keep a record of companies registered in Quaramonte?
Of course, senorita. Unfortunately, all the records were destroyed by a flash flood.
Do you know anything about the forthcoming eclipse, General?
Such things do not interest me, senor.
I'll be back.
Let's see here. Just need a... yeah, need a refresher sometimes.
Senor. Leave that child alone.
Okay, now what side is Ubi on again?
Why did you show him the stone?
I thought maybe he might know something about it.
Well, he does now, for sure. He knows we have it.
Did you notice that chart on the police station wall?
Yes, it looked like a map to me, but I couldn't make out the details.
Whatever it was, the General didn't want us to see it. You came on a little strong with the General.
I was merely flattering his ego, George. Every man has his Achilles heel.
Maybe, but that guy's weakness isn't in his foot. Labano tells me he's been seeing a lot of you.
We meet sometimes for lunch, a drink. After you'd gone back to the States, I was pretty lonely, you know.
Lonely? You must have been desperate. Couldn't you just visit the zoo or something? That man we saw talking to the General was Ubier. Didn't you recognize him?
I never met him, remember? The guy I called in Paris claimed to be Ubier, but he sounded nothing like the man in the police station. Maybe the professor really is innocent.
Nah, it's too much of a coincidence that he's here in Quaramonte. Would you like a biscuit?
Gourmet dog? Have you been eating those things, George?
Sure, they're great.
Uh-huh.
Guess what this is? Go on, guess.
It's wrought iron, probably from a chimney stack on an old stove.
Well, I suppose it could be. How did she know that?
My grandfather used to work in a foundry.
Take a look at this, Nico.
That's disgusting, George. Why are you carrying it around with you?
I don't know. I just can't seem to find it. Take a look at this.
An eclipse of the sun. Why the sudden interest in astronomy?
I found the cutting in Ubier's house.
Apparently, it's only visible from Central America.
Take a look at this.
Mon Dieu! Where did you get that kind of money?
It's not mine. I found that statement at Ubier's house. Do you have any theories about this stone?
I think that design represents a dog, a Mexican dog.
So, this is the sacred Chihuahua stone? Sheesh.
Yeah, well, that would be all for today. I'll see you next time. See ya!